Hi, this is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site, and today we're here with Dan Halstrom. He is the CEO of the U.S. Meat Export Federation. Thanks for being with us today, Dan.
Yeah, my pleasure, Sarah. Thank you.
Very good. And we're actually at a cattle show. We're in Orlando at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, but I wanted to take this opportunity while we have you to talk a little bit about the pork industry as well. And tell me a little bit about pork exports, what happened in 2023, and what are you expecting for 2024, especially amid some of these challenging times that the U.S. pork producer is having right now.
Yeah, actually the international side, the export side of pork for the last year is one of the success stories. We're seeing broad-based growth throughout the world. When we get December data here in about a week, it's going to turn out to be a new record value year for exports, roughly 8.2 billion in sales. And it's being led by Mexico. Mexico set a record in October for the year, and just hitting on all cylinders. And it doesn't stop with Mexico. The rest of Latin America, Central America in particular, places like Colombia and South America are really booming. And so that's really the success. But you look at Asia as well, and while they started the first half of the year slow, the last half of the year was really robust. So we have a lot of good momentum on pork going into 2024.
Very good. And let's talk a little bit more about some of those opportunity markets that you see and what's driving that, because there are a lot of economic issues, I guess, around the world. Some countries just aren't doing as well as they used to. The value of their dollar is lower and things like that. What are the things that impact, where you're going to get more exports and not?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. There's plenty of headwinds. Exchange rate, especially in Asia, the strong U.S. dollar, which makes our prices more expensive in the local currency terms. Concerns about inflation, interest rates globally. But the bottom line is that demand is still pretty darn good. In fact, in some places, it's record-breaking. So this is kind of a wave that we were riding the last couple of years, but the momentum the last half of last year really was monumental. And our traditionally large markets like a Korea and a Japan last year were actually down just slightly on pork. So we set records without our two largest markets. So this is a good sign. The diversification model is working. China was down slightly. So three of your four largest markets. But as I said, Mexico, huge year. Southeast Asia, places like the Philippines, big year. Exports into Australia, New Zealand, record-breaking year. So there's a lot of markets that we don't talk a lot about that had really big years. Taiwan was another one on the pork side. So we're kind of excited. No, not kind of. We're extremely excited about the broad-based momentum.
Very good. And let's talk a little bit about when you're selling into a market, right? You're not selling the whole pork carcass into a specific market, right? You're mixing and matching, right?
Exactly right, yeah. I like to think of it as that we in the industry in tandem, we're working to put the right cut in the right market that maximizes value. So nobody takes the set,
Right.
So some markets like a China, big for variety meats, pork stomachs, pork tongues, etc. A market like Mexico is big for the ham, but also we have loins growing there.
Right.
And in the case of Japan, it's a lot of tenderloins, loins, and shoulders. So that's the beauty, is you don't have to go into, there's plenty of options to maximize the carcass, and our exporters are very good at that, and putting the right cut, the right market to really optimize that value.
We hear, whenever I hear people talk about the U.S. pork market, they're, obviously the industry is struggling, but exports are seen as a real bright spot.
They really are, and the other thing that's going to happen when we get those December stats is more than likely we're going to be at a new record on a value per head payback from exports.
Right.
Right now it's a little over $63 a head. So. But we need to keep pushing because, with the growing middle class globally, there's opportunity to even expand it further, and that's really what we're focused on.
Very good. Very good. Well, thanks so much for all the information today, Dan.
Of course, thank you.
This is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site.